In 1901, some divers found a lump of green metal at the bottom of the sea. They almost threw it away. Inside that lump was a machine with over 30 tiny gears. It could predict eclipses. It could track the planets. It was built 2,000 years ago. Right now, all over the internet, people are calling this impossible technology, ancient computers, forgotten superweapons, secrets we can never rebuild. Some of that is true, and some of it is not. Tonight, we open the file on 3 of the biggest claims in ancient technology. We check the facts. We show you exactly what has been proven, what has been replicated, and what is still, honestly, a mystery. No hype, just the evidence. Let's begin. File 1. The Antikythera Mechanism. The year is 1901. A group of sponge divers is exploring a wrecked ship near a small Greek island. The ship sank around 65 BC. Down in the wreck, they find statues, jars, and coins, and one lump of rusted metal that almost nobody notices. Months later, back in a museum, that lump cracks open. Inside are gears. Small, bronze, cut with strange precision, for a machine that is over 2,000 years old. Here is the claim you have probably heard. This device could predict the future. Some videos call it an ancient computer smarter than anything for the next 1,000 years. A few even say it proves aliens helped build it. So let's check the file. First fact. Is it really this old? Yes. Scientists have dated the shipwreck and the object using multiple methods. This part is fully confirmed. Second fact. Could it really predict eclipses and track planets? Also yes. Modern scans, using X-rays and 3D imaging, have mapped the gears inside. Researchers rebuilt working models. The machine really did track the sun, the moon, and 5 planets. It even marked the dates of the Olympic Games. Third fact. Was this the only one ever made? Here is where the claims get shaky. Some videos suggest this was a one-of-a-kind miracle object, but it was found on a cargo ship. Cargo ships carry goods that are being sold or shipped somewhere. That means this may not have been rare at all. It could have been one of many. We just have not found the others yet. So what is actually true? The Antikythera mechanism is real. It worked, and it was more advanced than anything else built for over 1,000 years after it. That part is not hype. That part is fact. What is not proven? That it was one of a kind. That aliens were involved. Those are guesses, not evidence. File 1 stays open on one question. If this device was common enough to be shipped as cargo, how many more are still sitting on the ocean floor? We'll come back to that thought. But first, let's open a stranger file. File 2. The Baghdad Battery. Around 250 BC, someone in ancient Mesopotamia, in what is now Iraq, builds a small clay jar. Inside it, they place a copper tube and an iron rod. In the 1930s, an archaeologist finds several of these jars. He notices something strange. The setup looks almost exactly like a simple battery. Scientists built copies. They filled them with vinegar or grape juice, and when they did, the jars produced electricity, about 1 volt. That is enough to give a small shock, or maybe plate a thin layer of metal onto jewelry. Here is the claim you have probably seen. Ancient people had electric batteries. Some videos jump even further, saying this proves they had electric lights, or advanced machines, almost 2,000 years before Thomas Edison. Let's check the file. Fact 1. Does the design work as a battery? Yes. This has been tested many times. Copies of the jar really do produce a small electric current. Fact 2. Do we know for certain this is what it was used for? No. This is the important part almost nobody mentions. Many historians think the jars were probably just used to store scrolls or sacred documents, and that the metal parts were unrelated to electricity. The battery idea is a theory. It is not confirmed by any writings from that time. No text has ever been found describing what these jars were for. So here is the honest answer. The design could work as a battery. That part is real and testable. But there is no proof that ancient people actually knew this, or used it that way on purpose. It might be an amazing coincidence, or it might be a real forgotten invention. The file stays open, because the evidence stops one step short of an answer. Now for our final file. And this one is not a guess. This one is confirmed by modern science, using a microscope. File 3. Damascus Steel. Sometime in the early Middle Ages, sword makers in the Middle East began forging blades unlike anything the world had seen. These blades could cut through other swords. Some stories say they were sharp enough to slice a silk scarf in half as it fell through the air. On the surface of each blade were swirling patterns, like flowing water. These patterns were not just decoration. They came from something happening deep inside the metal itself. In 2006, scientists in Germany studied a real Damascus steel blade under a powerful microscope. What they found shocked them. Tiny tube-shaped structures made of carbon nanotubes.
Here is why that matters. Carbon nanotubes are considered advanced modern technology. Scientists officially discovered them in 1991. But this sword was forged 800 years earlier. Let's check the file. Fact 1. Are the nanotubes really there? Yes. This has been confirmed using electron microscopes. This is not a theory. It is measured, documented science.
Fact 2. Did the sword makers know they were creating nanotubes on purpose? No. Nobody at the time understood atoms, let alone nanotechnology. Most historians believe this happened by accident, through a specific mix of rare ore and a very exact forging temperature. When the original ore ran out, sometime around 1750, the technique was lost. Nobody has been able to fully recreate it since. So here is what is true. Ancient sword makers really did create a material with nanotechnology inside it, centuries before science understood what that even meant. They did not know why it worked. They just knew it worked, and they kept doing it until the materials ran out. This is not the same as saying ancient people were secretly advanced scientists. It is something stranger. It means simple trial and error, repeated for generations, is sometimes enough to accidentally build something modern science is still impressed by. So let's close these 3 files, and be honest about what we found. The Antikythera Mechanism, real, working, and possibly not even rare, just lost. The Baghdad Battery, a design that works but a purpose we cannot confirm. Damascus Steel, confirmed nanotechnology, built by accident, by people who never knew what they had made. Some of the internet's biggest ancient technology claims are padded with guesses. But underneath the hype, a smaller set of facts remains. And those facts, the ones that survive a real fact check, are honestly still amazing. That is the whole point of this channel. We do not need to invent mysteries. We just need to check the ones everyone else is exaggerating. If you want the files that come next, subscribe, because the archive only grows from here. This has been Archives Unknown. All 3 files remain open.